Hello, my name is Catherine Pugh. I'm environmental scientist at the City of Launceston. You might have seen some media recently around the raking review, which was presented to Council today. That's this document here. The review was a condition of a permit issued by the Parks and Wildlife Service to the Launceston Flood Authority to undertake raking in the upper estuary. The permit is required because the whole of the kanamaluka Tamar is a conservation area, and that's managed by the Parks and Wildlife Service. So we prepared the report for parks. The review looked at water quality and mapping data back to 2013 for the start of the program, but it also looked at data that went right back to 2008, which is before raking, and that's our baseline data. That's how we can compare the results of raking to non-raking times and see how it was effective or not. Raking was first trialled as an alternative to dredging. The upper estuary has been dredged for a long time, as far back as the 1890s and right up until the 1960s, when the Port of Launceston moved all of its facilities down to Bell Bay, and at that point dredging mostly ceased in the upper estuary. Since the dredging has mostly ceased, we've had a reforming of the mudflats, and around the time of the millennium drought 2008-2009, the mudflats had really completely re-established and were really starting to firm up. The Launceston Flood Authority became concerned that with the volume of sediment in the upper estuary, that might increase the flood risk to Launceston, and so they looked at measures, cost-effective measures to manage the sediment in the upper estuary. This is where the raking came in. Unfortunately, what we found in the review is that the raking wasn't as effective as it had been hoped. Raking can move sediments around, from the upper estuary, but what we found is that they don't move the sediments very far. We tended to get a lot of sediment accumulation in the navigation channels, and we lost a lot of depth from the navigation channels. We also found that any sediment that appeared to be transported out of the upper estuary came back really quite quickly. So before the 2016 floods, we had just as much sediment in the upper estuary as we had before the raking program started. We also found that we had water quality impacts that were visible along the length of the estuary. All the way down to Clarence Point we were finding them, and that was deemed to be an unacceptable impact on the water quality of the estuary. So if you're interested in our report, this is available on our website where you can go and read the report for yourselves. And if you're interested in finding more about what people are doing in the estuary more broadly, you can come along next week to a Tamar forum that's being held by NRM North and the Environment Institute. The links are below for registration. It's a free event and we'd love to see you there.